Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Come here. I want to show you something. Can you come here, please?
What? What's this?
This is Casting Call Club. It's an audition website for voice actors.
All right, why do I care about this?
Because I think you would be great at voice acting.
But I don't want to be a voice actor.
But you're great at doing voices. Don't you have a desire to be great?
Look, I'm only
One man, one desire.
See, you're doing it.
doing what?
The voices. This would be a great hobby.
No, it's just a...
Stupid hobbies.
Dude!
What?
Don't you see? You're amazing. Hey, you know what you should do? The Joker.
What? My Joker's not that good.
Fucking do it.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? You've changed things.
Baby, that's amazing. You have to do this.
I don't know. Where do I even start?
You have to make a demo reel.
What's a
Demo reel, precious.
Brian, if you'd stop asking questions and just fucking listen, you'll find out.
Listen to what?
The podcast.
What podcast?
Cold Read, the podcast. The one I'm on with Zamoody, Eldurrino, and Renara Hawke.
All right, fine.
Welcome to Cold Read, the podcast. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Ooh.
Yes!
Yes. Super nice. Super nice.
I'm living
That
for
was
that.
interesting.
That was great. Oh my god.
I needed to export that as MP3. I didn't realize. I did not understand.
Okay. Well, for the future, I mean, I honestly, first off, let me go ahead because I love our intro so much. So I'm gonna keep it going a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, which would be best for you. Whether you are live with us here on Twitch, watching us on YouTube, or now live on Spreaker when it comes to podcasting. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast. The intro you just heard was our weekly creation made by the great PrincessPashley, who is to my right if you are watching this. Awesome work. It sounded great. Thank you to Brian B. Liddy also on Twitch. Brian!
Round of applause for Brian.
Yeah, that's right. So no, as in like on time. I apologize. I love this intro. So as you can tell, I am better. Thank you for Eldurrino for taking the reins last week for hosting. So today we are going to talk to our guest. Our guest is ShadowWolf4X. Hello, ShadowWolf. Welcome. We're going to be talking today about practicing. We're going to be talking about auditions itself. Shadow runs a very interesting and popular comic dub when it comes to Pokemon. I'm actually one of the Pokemon on there. And we're going to talk about that process.
Yes, indeed.
And how beginning and getting into these projects is going to help you all out. But before we get into all of that, I'm just going to check in with everybody. So, Pashley, how was your week?
Oh, it was crazy. I started my new job in earnest, and it's a bunch of artists running a nonprofit, and nobody's really including the accountant.
Ah.
So it's gonna be fun. But you know what? I really love it. I love my coworkers, but it just requires a bit of organization.
Ooh, what is that?
Just the information flow. Like, they don't want to get into a CRM.
Right.
Everybody's scared to use the CRM, and I'm like, actually, once you dive into the deep end with it, it's gonna make your life easier. So that's my job, and I'm also teaching my boss how to music stream, which
Nice.
is probably gonna be the most
Hey.
Very
He
cool.
streams to YouTube, Facebook,
Oh,
and
yeah.
reach stream, and I'm like, oh god, we gotta do
That's
alerts,
cool.
we gotta do all this shit. So this will be like,
Nice.
it'll be fun. It'll be
Awesome. Awesome. Ren, how has
I've
your
had a
week
good
been so far?
It's been a long one. It's been a very long one. Because I don't know how many people from the UK are watching, but the UK's gone back into lockdown, and all of the
Oh
schools.
man.
Yeah, because I work at a school as my daytime job. Schools have been told that they need to start COVID testing the students now. So I'm doing that every day at this point. We're not actually doing the test. The students have to do that themselves, and so do the staff when they come in. But I'm doing one of the more hazardous ones, which is their samples come to me and then I process them on the antigen test. So I'm in full PPE, making sure everything goes correctly, having to make sure the tests like they come through as valid, not non-valid and stuff. And it's stressful, whilst also helping out the kids. So I've been doing that.
Wow.
So
Well,
I've
congrats on your second job.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice job.
I saw your tweet with you in all PPE, and it was crazy. It's crazy to see that. If you don't follow Ren on Twitter, please. Twitter is right up there. If not, check the description.
Lots of updates on there of what's going on, because at the moment all of the other projects I'm doing are on hold because we're having to deal with learning how to do all this and set everything in motion. So I've kind of been on the back foot end of doing like recording stuff and things like that. But the one we've done for this episode, I found amazing, but I'll let other people talk about that.
All right. And it's nice to see what's going on the other side of the world. I'm sure you saw our side of the world too. And
yeah, oh god.
You know,
I was like, what is happening over there?
I don't think we even know.
Lots of things.
Lots of things, absolutely. Eldurrino, how was your week?
It was decent. I think I only really did one, I recorded lines for a project that I was cast for like a week or two ago. So that was fun. I didn't have any information on the actual character itself, so I kind of just used my best judgment. And then like right after I finished recording it and was ready to send, they were like, "Hey, here's the character description."
Oh,
and I was
crap.
like, okay. But I mean, granted, I was fairly close. And I straight out told him, I was like, here's the approach that I took with it. I'll re-record it in the way that you want it to be done. And then, you can just decide which one you want to use. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I did that. So that was cool. I found a new project. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, they said that they still want to hear like the ones that I already done, because it was more of like a more commanding tone as opposed to what they wanted, which was more like banterful. So I just sent both, and then they can choose to use either, or they can select ones from each, whatever.
They can hear your range, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think.
True.
Yeah.
And then the only addition I really did this week, unfortunately, was one for another Skyrim mod called Khajiit Will Follow. That was a lot of fun to do. I listened to a lot of the submitted auditions on there, and man, people are really good. So I don't personally think I'm going to be cast for any of the roles, but it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
I like to be able to step outside my comfort zone and try something new.
Don't put yourself down. You never know.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I listened to them, and some of them were like, there's no way I can beat this, because it's just like it's spot on compared to the voice from the original game.
Right.
So I mean, like, I have keep my hopes high, but what is it? It's hope for the best, expect the worst.
Yes.
Right.
I run that philosophy.
So I mean, it's, if I don't get it, it's whatever. I can say that I tried. It was fun. I enjoyed auditioning for it either way, because I think it's gonna be a really cool mod anyways. So
awesome.
Yeah, so that's all I've done this week. Oh, and I played Death Stranding.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, our guest this week is ShadowWolf4X. So ShadowWolf, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro, and we'll talk about.
All right, people. I am the Shadow Wolf. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
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 So, ShadowWolf, as I mentioned before, runs a particular comic dub when it comes to the Pokemon, which you've got, what, 2 or 3 now going at once?
I've got, so currently I have 2. One finished a while ago with episode 3. I'm actually sad that I can't do any more episodes for it, because the creator a while back said that she was not going to do any more of it.
Dang.
Yeah, that happens, unfortunately.
But there's just like a lot of different things were going on, mostly because of the art style and everything. So I'm like, okay, that's understandable. She just wasn't having any more fun with that, honestly.
Right, and we talked about that because once you start losing your passion, everybody can see it, and it causes particular issues.
Yeah.
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 However,
yeah, keep
however,
going.
the other two, I'm still going strong.
Excellent. And what are those particular projects called
so the
again?
one that Okay, so one is called Guardians of the Universe. We are currently on chapter 5. I just need that last line and then I can start.
Right.
I know that pain.
I just need one more and I can start. And the other one is Rising Shadows, which I finally have the chapter 5 script for.
Yay.
Unfortunately, Zamoody won't be able to do any lines because Ace is not in that one.
Yeah, it's always
He will.
always the next time.
Hopefully he'll be it. Well, I if I remember correctly, chapter 6 is where Ace comes back in because flashbacks.
Gotcha.
There are flashbacks in this series. So
very cool. So you do your own editing and everything else, or do you have somebody who does that for you?
Yeah, actually, I am usually the script writer, the editor, and the director.
Wow, that's a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Episode 2 or 3 of Rising Shadows was done by one of the other VAs because I was busy doing one of the other episodes. And I'm like, I'm not gonna have time to do this myself. So I'm like, wait, I know this guy is a pretty good editor. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see if he wants to do this episode while I'm doing the other one. So after I got the one episode done, he just sent me the rest of the stuff. I'm like, it's done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had to
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I had to make him stop doing that because I got down to like 2 series, and I'm like, you know what? Let's not stress him out because he's usually only in the nighttime whenever I'm talking to him. And also, he's the one that plays Talon in the series.
Ah, gotcha. Very cool. So we'll get back to your project here in just a moment, and we'll talk about, if you don't mind, because we did this with Matt, what it looks like on Casting Call Club on your side when it comes to like picking up people for a project and everything else. So just so everybody is back in, and so I in all honesty took another week off. As you guys know, I had dental surgery on the beginning of the year. I'm finally, for the most part, back. I could actually make faces and move my jaw and not wince in pain. So yay, that works out well.
Was it like?
Huzzah.
Was it wisdom teeth?
Yeah, it's the other side of my. I'm no longer wise.
Oh my god, I have had that problem before. I've had my wisdom teeth taken out before. It's painful.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, all in all, I got to finally go into the booth this morning and I got to bang out the audition. So I'm super excited. I was nervous. Is that weird? After being almost like a week and a half off, I was nervous to go back in and actually record something.
No,
I don't seem too weird. No,
not really.
I think it's
I think everyone
when you're out of practice, it's natural to go ooh, and then just sort of have to really like realize yourself.
Right.
So here's the way I think about it. The way that I think about it is, when I was younger, in like middle and high school, we would always get like a 2-week Christmas vacation, right? The anxiety of going back to your locker after that 2-week vacation and being like, what the hell is my combination? it's the exact same feeling, right? You're so used to doing it day in and day out, and then you go back after not having done it for a couple of weeks, and you're like, I forgot everything I know. But then as soon as you get back into it, it all just it just all flows right back. So
I have to say,
I don't think it's out of the ordinary.
Lockers aren't that prevalent in England. It's if you get one, you're lucky. You're fighting over them because the school only has like maybe one set of lockers in the science block at the other side of the school campus, and you're like, if you've got one, you're like, why do I need it? I specifically need a reason to have it because otherwise, people are just lugging bags everywhere. So.
Give me a reason to have this particular locker, please.
Right.
Like literally right out, but yeah.
Well, very, very cool. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for helping me to catch up a bit. So let's get right into it. So we've talked about in the last couple of ones the equipment that we needed, the good places to go. We had Raven Main last week, who was giving us some really awesome acting tips. So here we are again with ShadowWolf. ShadowWolf, on your side, because I know when it comes to comic dubs, the one thing that I've always liked about it is it's an interesting collaboration of mostly people that are on the beginning ends. And it gives people an opportunity to learn to record and to listen. And I'll be honest, ShadowWolf was my first live feedback when it comes to recording my voices. So when I was doing my Ace voices, I had ShadowWolf in my ear going, that one may not have worked out. So it's a good opportunity for people to go out there, put yourself out and give these a shot.
Yeah. And I keep telling my voice actors, if they want my help, I will literally go into a DM with them and help them. Unfortunately, no one has taken up that offer, but
well, and then
they're lost.
Yeah, I came in later into the Ace part. You already had an Ace, and I believe you had to recast him for whatever reason.
I know. Okay, so what happened was that Izzy was the voice for Ace before you, and unfortunately, he had too many projects going on and had to leave mine. So I'm like, okay, but then I'm like, who am I gonna make as Ace? Yeah. So I make a casting call, and then I hear his voice, and I'm like, it could use some work, but I think he could be possibly the person. There were some other people, but I didn't think they would. I didn't think their voices really like. I don't know. I didn't feel it honestly with them.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about that process. So, because I was it an emergency cast that you put in, or did you have other characters for this particular one? Or was it just for like the full episode that you were doing it?
Okay, so the full episode, I already had everyone else. I just needed Ace.
Okay. So for those of you listening, an emergency cast generally means that somebody was in the project and then had to drop out for whatever reason. And now the director is
Trust
scrambling.
me, I've had to do this a few different times.
Yeah. You okay
it's
there,
not
Pash?
fun.
Yeah, no, I don't. It just shut off. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh no!
Technical issues.
Reactor meltdown. Oh no!
I figured it out. I have backup if it does it again. Sorry.
No, you're quite all right. So on your side, because I kind of went into this with Matt, but I'm not sure if I got the full picture. Does Casting Call Club look any different as the project manager than it does for a person who's auditioning?
Yes, very much so. There are a little bit more features that the project manager can do. There is a setting. I don't have my screen up. But there's a setting over for the project that they're allowed to go into settings and cast members at multiple times.
Oh, okay.
They're also able to go into the cast area and send a message to them, basically saying, "Hey, I'm basically the director. If they have a server for anything for the project, which I do have, that's usually what I say. I usually get them the server link, but I also say, please do not give this to non-cast members because most of the servers that I've made it before were pretty messy. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make this a little bit more organized. Has that worked out for me? Probably not, but I do my best.
Well, you can make the server private and then add them on Discord and then only invite them to, because I've got a Discord for my project. And I have it so that whenever I find someone, because I found my Irene on casting call, so I messaged them, got them on Discord, then sent them an invite on Discord, and then that times out after a while and they can't use it again. So instead of putting a public one out there, you could do it that way, and that way you can handpick who you want in that server.
I mean, it only lasts for 24 hours, so.
Oh, there you go. So...
Oh, gotcha.
The invite only lasts for 24 hours.
You got it. You're fine.
I mean, it's not private, but that's just how I have the invites.
So, and again, another question I asked before: when you've got multiple auditions, what are you listening for? What's the first thing that you want to listen to? What do you want to hear out of an auditioner?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. No background.
My quality, so sound quality.
That's the first thing I want to hear when I'm listening to this. Having no background. Because there have been a few auditions that I've listened to, and I'm like, there's background noise and it's kind of annoying.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, because of that, I can't cast for them, even if they have a really good voice to it.
Right.
Could I ask you a quick question? Can you tell, because I was asking Eldurrino about this week, can you tell if someone's put a denoise on their file for you? Is it really obvious?
A denoise?
So it's a
I've
thing
never
that will
heard
get
that
rid
term
of
before.
background noise. It's something that I don't know what it's called
Um,
in any other program, but in Premiere Pro it's called denoise, and it
Noise
basically
reduction, maybe something like noise.
Yeah, it's a
reduction?
noise
not
reductor.
quite. It's not exactly a noise reductor
Mm.
because it will just detect low decibels. This is how Eldurrino explained it. It was low
Oh,
decibels and
equalizer?
eliminate them.
Equalizer sort of thing,
It-
or
it-
like
A little
live
bit.
equalizer. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest here.
Well-
I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen any auditions for my thing where anyone has used that.
Okay.
Good to know.
Well, it
Now you
it
know. And
essentially.
I don't know what exactly I'd be looking for when I do that. So
Okay.
Well,
I didn't
Zamoody, do
know.
you use that kind of feature like noise removal in Audacity?
I have not. My equipment, thankfully, is good enough to not have to need it.
Mhm.
I have, because on occasions when, like, on occasion, sometimes either the echo in the room or there will be ambient noise because of my computer, so I end up sort of
Mhm.
having to do that. But I'm well versed enough to know how to get rid of pops manually, and also find out the correct frequency to do the whole shebang. But that's because I've had practice with that.
Right.
Yeah.
my room's just quiet enough so I don't get any background noise.
Well,
Nice.
aren't you special?
Well, lucky.
Because we have talked
Well,
about it
no,
before, and
special.
recording environment is very, very important. So now, this is the second person who does projects, and this is why I'm stressing this absolutely, is your audio needs to sound clear. It needs to sound good in order for you to be able to move forward in this hobby.
Right. So the
Yes,
way that I
and also-
understand. Sorry, go ahead.
I was also when I actually pick them and I have to hear them record the lines, it also counts for the environment as well. Because I've actually gotten a recording and it sounds good, but I'm like, where are you at?
Mhm.
Like, where are you
Some
right
people
now?
sound
Are you
like they're in a
outside
bathroom
or
or
something?
something.
Yeah.
No, it just sounds like they're outside or something.
Oh,
'Cause I
wow.
can
So
hear,
right
like,
by the
bird-
train station there.
I can hear like birds and like grassy stuff outside.
Uh.
So I'm like, where are you?
Interesting.
I can see.
I was just gonna say, in regards to the noise removal thing, I don't know if this is the same way as it is in like Premiere or other programs, but the noise removal in Audacity essentially is you take a selection of dead space in an audio file. It takes that sample, analyzes like what the highest and lowest decibel points are, and then any other time in your recording in which it sees that again, it just basically zeroes it out.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it takes like
no,
the
I've never-
noise where
I've
you're
never
not
gotten that.
speaking, and then just makes it in like negative infinity.
I'm just
can-
thinking of like quick and dirty workarounds, like in the event
no.
the 12-year-old is home and is like in the background. It's and
Yeah.
sometimes just my situation
Mhm.
does not always lend itself to perfectly quiet environments. So
True.
I didn't know.
And that makes sense. Yeah.
The reality for me here is that I generally tend to record more towards the later of the night because I am literally next to a main street right here. Even in the
Mm.
booth,
sure.
if a
Yep.
big enough truck comes by, you're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
I've got
Hong
a train
Kong.
that goes by.
Yeah.
I live in a very podunk town, so and especially with it being next to a main street as well, I hear I'll be sitting there, not even monitoring myself as I'm recording, but then I listen to it back, and I'm like blah blah blah, and that's here.
I'm just
Right.
Fucking.
I'm just
Christ.
lucky. I'm just lucky that I found like a place that's pretty quiet outside. Honestly,
Sure.
Well, a friend of mine, like she's represented and she's working, but her friend has an actual fucking trailer, and I'm like,
Yeah,
At
you
what
talked
point are
about
you
this last episode.
I did, and I'm
Mhm.
like, God, that would be
you have
nice.
that'd be cool. But why do you have that outside your house?
Well, I mean, if
Well, I don't have a house.
if you're
so
having enough work to
Oh, okay.
justify it, then yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Enough work to justify these things.
Right.
the nice things.
Yeah, these are the super
Very
super
nice
things.
things.
So so going back to the particular, like I said, for comic dubs, it's one of the projects that you're going to see a lot more in Casting Call Club. So, Shadow, to put one of those together, do you generally tend to ask ahead of time to the creators of the
Yes.
comics? Okay.
Unfortunately, because they are not mine, you generally have to ask the creator first before you even decide to do anything.
Interesting. So you don't like make a concept
And
and then
that's
bring it to them. You just ask them first.
yeah. You basically just ask them first. Ask them. Well, don't ask them like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a comic done. Can I do it, please?"
Mhm.
Don't do that because
Right.
that will instantly get a no. What you want to do is ask them very, very politely in a very professional way.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm thinking of like maybe doing a comic dub. I was hoping that I would be able to do it of your comic and maybe make it more like visual and effects and like all that.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, I have been turned down before.
That was going to
Oh,
be my
sure.
next question. So okay.
I have been turned down before. There was one comic that I saw in a video on YouTube. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Let's see if I could do like anything else.
Mhm.
I tried asking the creator, but they basically said no. I'm like, darn it.
Mm.
Do you try again once you get a
'Cause
no,
I-
or is there pretty much a definitive like okay, well, I'll move on to the
Well,
other places?
when they put in the in the message that I don't do it because of trust, that's basically your way of saying you're not going to get any other answer.
Okay.
Mm.
Because they're so. I mean, it's their
However,
project. It's their passion.
yeah, it's basically it's basically their comic. Now there's 3 projects currently, one that finished and 2 that I'm still doing.
Right.
Those I got all yeses because they thought it would be a cool idea for it to actually become a comic dub.
Interesting.
And one of them was actually pretty excited that I actually came to them and asked them about it because one of my friends showed me this comic. I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. Maybe I can do something with it
Mhm.
to make it a little bit more interesting to people that actually want to see, the like very few chapters of this and just, not feel too bad about it. And the creator was pretty excited about it. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Very cool.
Nice.
So in the actual creation of it, as you're going through, because a lot of I know for me, I've always been afraid to ask questions when it comes like interpretations or line or anything else. Is there like a particular, as your side of it, as the project manager, do you mind those particular questions?
Not really.
Okay. Because I know, like it's like if I'm mispronouncing or anything like that, it's weird for me to
I
go.
mean, this is just my way. This
Right,
is
right,
just my way. Yeah.
well,
I
and
was
it's
just gonna say,
important.
this is
It
this
Go
is just my way of doing stuff. Like I'm not like it's not gonna work for everyone. Like
Right.
everyone's not gonna do it the same way I do it.
No, but I mean, like I said, as an actor, it's important. As a voice actor, it's important to know that it's okay to be able to say, "Hey, I'm not sure about this. Can you kind of guide me?" And not think that you're going to look stupid or unprofessional or anything like that. I think it's important to get those clarifying points.
Yeah, and I've said before that if they want help with any of their lines, I'm definitely open to helping them. I might not be like the most professional at doing it, but I'll definitely, try to help them out.
Cool. Any questions from the panels? Or are you guys all following along?
Just following along, trying
I'm
to soak it in.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Yes, soak
I-
that butter in.
I do enjoy these discussions with people like the people who like write the scripts or direct the show. It's very interesting to hear their side of the story, so that the people who are performing for them, can take that experience and apply to their own performance. And that way we can improve as a whole. And then on the other side, they can kind of see what we go through as well, and they can either tailor themselves to it or just completely ignore all of it and say, I'm doing it my way. Fuck you.
Very cool.
Yes.
Awesome. So and I asked Matt the same question. So once you get everything all together, how long does the actual process take of putting all of the magic and all the voices? Because I know you.
Oh my god!
You even
I
look
feel-
for
I
sound
feel
I knew
effects.
this question. I knew this question was coming. I
Yeah.
knew this was coming. I sensed it. I'm like, when he's going to ask
I
this
sensed
question,
it.
I sense the power of this question coming.
Disturbance in the force.
There it goes again.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
see
guys.
that, Pash.
No, Ashley, come back.
Pashley has gone
Okay,
dark
well-
for those of you listening.
It takes a while. I'm gonna say that. Mostly because my process does take some time for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because first off, I have to do the casting call,
Yes.
Mhm.
and while I'm waiting for that, I have to basically go into the pages, save them. Then I go into because I got Metabang and GIMP to help me out with this.
Yep.
I go into Metabang first. I crop out the pictures. I black out any pieces of that particular panel that I didn't get.
Mhm.
Then I go into GIMP and then I delete. I basically cut out the black part so it looks like the panels are going from one to the other.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, there have been a few times where I've been just like, what the fuck? Because there are black parts that I can't get rid of for some reason.
Sure.
Might be the file type, but yeah.
It was
Interesting.
weird because I went back and forth like a few times in Metabang, like, what the hell is going on?
Do you add Foley at all, or do you add any sort of depth, as in, like, do you create
No.
an atmosphere with it, or is it just lines and text and the pictures
No,
and
it's
stuff?
just lines and text and stuff in the
Okay.
picture.
Fair enough.
I always make sure to add a layer on top of it, so that way, if I fuck up on the actual picture, I can just go ahead and be like, get rid of that layer. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
So
And then after that, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was gonna ask. So I've never heard of these programs. What were these programs again?
They are Metabang and GIMP.
GIMP.
They are two art programs. They're free, actually. I downloaded them pretty easily.
I believe GIMP gets regularly updated as well. It's basically the Windows version of Photoshop.
Pretty
Hmm.
much, yeah.
It's
It's
really
the free
good.
version, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really good.
Huh? We're gonna have
Yes,
to connect
I would
afterwards.
have to agree. I actually really like that program. I use it a lot.
We'll have to
I use
connect
it for
afterwards because
thumbnails.
I'm interested in a couple projects. So this will be great. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Ren. Go ahead.
It's fine. So after I'm done with all of that, I do the script next.
Hmm.
And then when it gets close, and like in between, when I have like free time, I go into the casting call, I look around, and I just hear every one of the auditions out. If I hear a really good one, I'm like, ooh, that is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I won't message them or anything. I'll just say it out loud to myself.
Make note.
So I was that's,
Yes,
that's
make a mental note, sir.
that was one of the questions that I had previously. I mean, considering I'm sure you get a fair amount of these particular projects. Do you listen to the whole thing personally, or do you listen to just a couple seconds and then create a short list based on that?
What I do is that I listen to the entire thing.
Oh wow, okay.
No shits and giggles. I go through the entire thing. I sit my ass down and I just listen to the entire thing.
Nice.
Because there might be some parts in this recording that might not be so good compared to another person's.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Because that's sometimes is what people miss when they're listening to auditions.
Oh,
Because
sure.
sometimes you'll actually hear a bad part in the line,
Mm.
and another part will be really good, but then you catch, what needs to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So that's how I see it. If there's an audition that goes like really well, then I'm like, okay.
So this last one that I participated in, I think had a good 8-9 different characters, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
trust me, a lot of these chapters I have to.
Oh.
A lot of characters, lots of characters.
Right. And these were still very, I mean, still from various levels of experience when it comes to voiceover stuff too. How because I'm assuming that you'd be able to tell who's more of the experience of the other ones. for your projects and more, because I want to get more of the of the, like, I decide to do a project type of side. Is it obvious when somebody's like super new, or is it just hard to tell where everybody is in the experience spectrum?
Sometimes it's easy to tell, sometimes it's hard.
Okay.
Because sometimes they'll say that they're new,
Mm-hmm.
but they do a really, really good audition.
Mhm.
On the other hand, there could be an experienced person that does the same exact thing. Sometimes you can't tell the difference.
Interesting.
Unless they like literally put in the message that I'm new.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easy to tell when they are new because of the background and how it sounds.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
That's understandable. Are you more inclined? I guess maybe it depends on the project. Like, do you like to have more seasoned actors, or I mean, what's your preference there?
When it comes to me, I'm a diverse person.
Mm.
Fair.
I don't go for one particular area. I just say, anyone who's interested, you want to audition, go ahead.
Nice.
Mhm. And then within those
I mean-
parameters, obviously, do not have the train going through the background
Yeah.
of your.
Of course not. Do not have that trained in the background for you, because I will literally say no.
Right.
No.
You'll just pass at
No.
that point.
I'll pass. Like, this is so annoying in the background, but they sound so good. But I don't know whether to say no or yes to this.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't we
Yeah.
ask Matt this? Like, how long on average do you get through an audition before you've made it? Because there has to be some kind of efficiency to this. So is it like the first 10 seconds have to be like the best? And there goes my camera again.
Yeah, I see
Does
that.
the first 10 seconds have to be the best? I'm gonna switch it to
Well, sometimes
this.
with me, sometimes a character with the voice acting, it's pretty easy for me to pick, and then I just
Okay.
go ahead and pick it.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a little bit harder for me to do because there might be more than one person that sounds really good.
Mm.
And I've actually had this come up before with Fletcher.
Mhm.
Because he in the project is a Russian voice, and I'm like, how am I gonna get this kind of thing? So I'm looking through it. I'm like, two of these people sound really, really good, but I don't know who to choose.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sure.
I'm just playing around with the video. Sorry.
So what I do is that I go back in, I listen to the whole thing 3 times for both of them.
Oh, okay.
And then I say, you know what? So one of them sound a little bit clearer or something with their audio, and I'm like, you know what? That's the one that I want to be picked. It might take me some time to actually do it because other stuff. I'm lazy. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
that's
lazy.
fair.
The
It's
truth
fair.
comes out.
The truth comes out. I'm lazy. All right.
Mhm. So after you put
Right.
because you put this all together, you put it into this giant bowl, which is editing software, and you spin out this episode and you put it up on YouTube. And
I actually use Premiere, by the way.
oh, okay.
I
That-
see you there.
You just made Pashley's day right there.
Yeah, my editing software is Premiere Pro. I've used it since I first because the very first college that I went to was a tech class for
Mhm.
editing. And the
Mm.
program that we were using was Premiere Pro. So I'm like, I got super used to it.
Awesome.
It's
So I just
really
got it
great
for myself.
software. You can do
Yeah,
some really
plus-
powerful things with it. That's why I was like,
Plus,
man.
plus, only $20 a month. It's great.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
But
That's
it's
a lot of
20
money.
bucks.
It's a deal.
It's like everything is
For what
15 to
it
20 bucks a
does.
month. It all adds up.
Well, sure, but
Yeah.
if you get use out of it, then it's.
I
worth
mean,
it.
I'm using it a lot. I'm using it a lot in my
Yeah,
job.
I'm using it a lot
it.
too.
So
Yeah.
it just depends. But it is super powerful software. And it makes
Yes.
and it's more intuitive than a lot of other, like Sony Vegas, I did not have a great time with.
No.
Mm,
Fair.
I did
yeah.
not.
I'm a
But
Sony
anyway-
Vegas girl, so
Have you gotten any feedback from the original creator? Have they watched the episodes? What do they think of it?
Yes, actually. The very first episode of Explorers of Heart, I actually had to go back in there because a lot of people were telling me resolution sucks. I'm like, oh no. And there was actually a part in there where I couldn't, like, I didn't have the ability to actually edit it where I wanted it. So I had to go back in afterwards and I'm like, you know what? Let me fix this. So I re-uploaded a new video that is the same episode, but it just says in the title, little edits here.
Hmm.
Oh.
Gotcha.
But the very first one, the creator actually saw it and she was like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing! Thank you for making this." I'm like, "Aw, you're welcome." Now I'm gonna be honest. The very first one for the Guardians of the Universe, that episode, the very first episode, I actually didn't pick out the voice actors myself. I had the creator tell me who they wanted.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, which I'm like, "Ooh, that's interesting."
So was it
But after-
was it a condition in order to allow you to do it versus for them to pick the voices?
Actually, no. They said that they wanted to be a little bit involved with it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see who you want as the voice actors. I'll just ask
Gotcha.
you who it is,
Mhm.
and then I'll just, go ahead and pick it. That was how it was at the beginning of the project.
Oh.
Wow.
But after a while, she just said, "Go ahead and do it yourself. But I'll still watch the episodes because I enjoy them." I'm like, okay.
So once a little
Oh.
trust was, I think, earned, that Rain
Yeah,
was
so I'm
let
like,
go.
yes, trust
Gotcha.
learned, trust earned.
Very cool.
I don't know why I said learned.
Learned.
Learned. The trust was learned.
All right. So I see, because one thing that is different, since Ren is working in the UK and it's no longer on holiday. You've got a set time that you've got to go. I want to make sure that we get to your audition. So
Okay.
we're gonna move over to the audition super quick, and we'll get back to any questions that we have left over for that. So I'm gonna take that as you're volunteering to go first, Ren.
I will go first. Yep, I'm good.
Volunteering as tribute.
Okay, so really quick, I
yes.
couldn't get mine into the Discord because it was too big.
Oh,
Too powerful.
Giggity.
It was too powerful.
do you have can you email it to me or?
Yeah, I can email it to you. I can put it into like a Google thing and then send it.
You could drop
That'll
it in
work, and then I
Drive
can play it off of here.
link it.
Okay.
Yeet.
And so this week's Eldurrino, go ahead and talk about the project real quick before we start.
Sure.
Yeah, bring it up and because for this particular week you chose the trying to remember what it's Caldium. I can never say this.
Hang on, where is it? Where is it?
Or Chaldean, whichever.
Kaldheim.
Kaldheim.
Oh, okay.
Which is currently
That's
on
weird. I always
Casting Call
heard
Club. It's one of the paid
Chaldean.
projects that are up there.
Yeah. This one is I think it's like a fan fiction or like a web fiction based around Magic the Gathering.
It looks so cool.
I just we haven't really done
Nice.
like a big like fantasy type one.
Mhm.
So I figured, it had both male and female roles. So I was like, why not? Sounds fun.
I fell in love with this when I saw it. I was like, this is right up my street.
Very cool. So
I'm gonna be honest. I actually had fun with it too.
good.
It's so good.
That's good.
That's super
Important.
It
important.
sounds like it's dirty that you had to have fun with it. What the?
I think the thing is, when you go into an audition, you it will pique your interest, but then you kind of just sort of go, okay, I'm gonna there's a certain level of distance that you have of, I don't want to get so wholly invested in it in case I don't get a part or something like that. Like there's that distance. Whereas with this one,
right.
I was like, "Oh God, I really hope I get a role in this because it's
God,
really
I
cool."
hope I get it. I hope I
And,
get it.
and that's fine.
Renara, are you with me?
That's okay.
I hope I get the line.
So I'm gonna, because Pash, did you get a chance to do this or no?
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
on the website.
It's on the website now.
I actually uploaded it before your input because I don't need y'all's input. No, I'm just kidding. I did end up uploading it.
All right. So
That was the change I'm missing.
if everybody's watching the screen, you should be able to hear this. I'm going to start playing Ren's. This is going to be the Inga take. So going in 3, 2, 1.
What did you see? What is doing this to your town? I want a war party ready to set off within the hour. Skeleton crews aboard the ships until we return. Everyone who can be spared is going into the Aldergard forest. Olrund! I had heard the sagas, of course, but I never thought. Wow. Boy, what did you see? What is doing this to your town? I want a war party ready to set off within the hour. Skeleton crews aboard the ships until we return. Everyone who can be spared is going into the Aldergard forest. Olrund! I had heard the sagas, of course, but I never thought. Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
I'll start if that's okay.
Lay it on me.
Your first take of the first set of lines, I think I liked in the first one. So I think it was much more. I felt the authority more on the first one, than I did on the second one. I think although the second set of lines was better on your second take, because I felt more surprise. Because this.
Oh, okay.
When you saw Aldrin, which is the part that Eldurrino and I tried for, so I like pieces of both, so I'll start there.
Sure.
Because I read.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, because reading through it, she's she's a blind but leader of this clan. So I thought, okay, I need to make sure. I literally put on like Assassin's Creed Valhalla music and just listened to that for like a good half an hour, and then just got myself into that headspace of, if I was a Viking warrior who had to lead a clan, how would I sound? What would I do? And it was just sort of like I pushed it to be really bassy and sort of aggressive for the first one, but then I felt like I'd lost some of the nuances. So then that's when I went for the softer one, so that I could show, hey, that I can do this too, sort of thing.
Sure.
Awesome.
So for your first set of takes, I think I enjoyed the authority that was shown in the second line, the I Want a War Party one. I thought that one sounded a bit more commanding, in my opinion, which I think really fit that line really well. In your second takes, I liked the first line, the boy, what did you see, more in that one, because it was very gentle. It was as if you were speaking to a child, which I think definitely fit that one. My only quip that I have was the last line. I feel like instead of that one being delivered in his spoken voice, it says at the end of it, shocked whisper, and I think that applies to the entire line, not necessarily just the end. So it's like, so it's like trying to like, I thought it was supposed to be more directed to Alrund. And you're trying to like keep it under wraps from everyone else around you, that it is Alrund, because the character itself is under the guise of like this old man, and he doesn't want anybody to know that he's a god. So that's the way I took it. I'm not sure if that's what the creator had in mind as well, but
I think that would have been my way of, because I read it as in, I thought that was a continuation on the end, and I was going, what do I do for shocked whispers? That they're like, I literally said out loud, what do I do for that part? Because I'm so used to them putting the direction up top. But I should have noticed. That was just probably me.
And that's fine, because I can totally see how you would see that too, because that's the way I would take it too. I would figure, whatever direction they want the line would be ahead of it instead of behind it. But I know some people, like in the first line, it says gently and slowly. At the very end,
I'm kicking myself slightly, going, how did you got that for the first one, but not the second one? Like, okay, learn that next time, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, but otherwise, I think your voice actually, because of that deep tone, fits his character very well. So
okay,
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It gets a really good, really, really great commanding quality with the bassy quality to your voice. And it's not like it's masculine or anything, but it is very strong and I guess I should say masculine.
Comes from working with kids. Teenagers.
Understandable.
Get down from the railing. No. But yeah, thank you.
All right, and just to compare, I'm gonna try to play Pashley's, but again, this one came in as an MP4.
Well, play it off the website. It plays off of it if you want to
Oh,
grab it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
That's
yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be probably another one. Hold on.
Find it.
Because I went and checked that. It's like, oh shit, I hope it plays.
Here.
Hold on, I have to go back to it.
Here, I can hold
Oh
it
yeah,
down.
You got
I
it?
see it.
Yeah, it's up on
Yeah.
on the website.
It's
No,
about
I'm just
2
gonna-
up from
I'm
me.
just gonna send him a link to your page instead.
Okay.
It'll be
I
easier
see
to
it.
find that way.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna share that. Oh, this is actually the first thing that you actually put in for.
Yep.
Nice. All right, everybody in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Boy, what did you see? What is doing this to your town? I want a war party ready to set off within the hour. Skeleton crews aboard the ships until we return. Everyone who can be spared is going into the Aldegard forest. Alrund, I had heard the sagas, of course, but I never thought. And then I missed the whispers.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Oh no.
Okay, so I will say that you be a little more careful with the plosives.
Yeah.
I heard a couple of pops in there. If for some reason you can't get the shield in front of it, a tip to have is to have a pen with you, and if you just put it right in front of you as you're speaking, it's going to completely diffuse any particular noises that you do. So that's a quick
know
tip
that one.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody
know
else?
about that one. I liked the first line. Very gentle, very calm.
Mhm.
Same.
I mean, you're a mom, so I certainly hope you know how to speak to a child. I
Shall
feel
we
like
try?
I feel like the second line probably could have been a little bit more like in your face. Like I feel like you're
Yeah.
holding back just a little bit. I feel
And
like
you know I can be in your face. Like
Mhm.
I'm
I
ready to go.
absolutely know that. You know, like I want a war party ready to set off within the hour. You know, just like a little bit more energy. I think would have
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
helped that line out a lot. The last one, I don't know. That one's kind of. I feel like it should be like the entire line as a whisper, but I think still having some tone in it is okay.
Mhm.
I did enjoy the way that you had delivered that though. Last thing, as far as like the technical stuff, and I just got told about this, so I shouldn't talk, but I will say it again. Don't put too much space in between lines.
Yeah, I didn't time it right, but like I had done it 5 minutes before, so I wasn't able. Like
Yeah,
usually in
that's
that
fine.
case, I would listen back and then do those cuts. So
Right.
that is entirely like a user error. Like
Yeah, I mean that's that's whatever. It's just something you gotta get in the habit of doing. Like I have to as well. So.
Well, and the reality is I don't record the whole thing as just one file. I generally do 2 or 3 different takes, and then I kind of
Yeah.
mush it all together on the ones that I
Right.
like. So you'll
Right.
every time you hear me do an audition, it's me probably doing minutes and minutes and minutes worth of me talking, and then just picking the best ones and putting it all together.
yeah,
Right.
So
yeah, that's where having like that. Like I'm thinking about like the audio editing software because I'm trying to gauge how far I want to go with it. But I do like Premiere Pro, the things that I can do. It's easier for me to use.
Mhm.
So I just need to find that in an audio software, and yeah,
So we're gonna
I
get
think I can do it. I like doing it.
Yeah.
very cool. So we got a bonus one because you did Nico, and then ShadowWolf did Nico as well. So I'm gonna list. I'm gonna
I'm trying to let him access.
That's fine. We're going to listen to Ren's Nico first, so you can get your feedback, and then we can talk about anything that we have for you. All right? Before
I'm
you
gonna
go.
find Nico just.
I have
Alright,
it. I have it. So just
Yeah.
here we go.
You'd intentionally bring winter down onto the uncursed. Those in power embellish their deeds, or their admirers do it for them. I'm not Kana. I don't serve Finn. And I'm not an omen. I'm just a person. If you're convinced that destruction follows me, then send me to Starnheim with a warning so they're prepared.
Okay. I like, again, it's very authoritative. You've got that air of authority when you speak, and that's really good for a lot of these parts. So I'm happy to hear that shine through. Yeah, let me keep processing. So feel free to add in everybody else in the panel.
I think the only thing I have to say is your first one. I feel like could have been maybe a little bit more
Surprise.
posed
Yeah.
as a question. Yeah.
I'm
Because
not
it
good-
kind
I'm
of
not
like
good at surprise by the looks of it.
no, it's okay.
No,
I mean, it just like when I do it, like you said, you're a very visual person.
Yeah.
So the way the way I imagine lines when I'm doing them, when I want to put different inflections on them is I think about music, how
Yeah.
a crescendo or I haven't practiced sheet music in forever, but you
Crescendo,
know, going
descendo.
yeah, whatever it's called, but you know, the greater than, less than, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, you know,
Better than this.
the way I would see this would be like, you'd intentionally bring winter down on the uncursed, you know,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like start a little and then go all the way up, you know.
Okay, I
That's the
can
way I
see
always
that.
see
I
I
can.
like
questions.
that.
But I mean, obviously, like not every line that ends with a question mark has to be delivered with an upward inflection at the end.
Yeah.
But I think if in order to convey like being surprised, I think that might be a better way of delivering it. But the way you did it was fine too. But I mean, that's just, I'm just throwing my opinion out there.
One thing I've noticed, especially with the way I do stuff, is that whenever I need to surprised or anything with an upward inflection, it usually comes more naturally when I'm doing a higher type of voice.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Oh, sure.
I'm like, oh my god, really? Like I find
Yeah.
it easier to do that if the voice requires it to be. But when I go into my lower registers, it somehow sort of slips for some reason, and that's something I'm working on at the very least now. But thank you for pointing that out and helping with that, actually,
Sure.
because it's again, hearing someone else do it and giving me that template helps me to then go on and do more stuff. So yeah,
Right.
Well,
And
it's
that
really
and that's something
interesting.
that I struggle with too. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
actually.
No,
That's
it's
something
fine.
I struggle with too when I try to push my voice a bit deeper than what it already is.
Yeah.
I find it very difficult to have any variation in my voice because I am pushing my voice down as opposed to
Yeah.
up. So I totally understand that. But at the same time, you can also kind of like think about when you want to hit those like upward or upper inflections, just slip it back up into your normal speaking voice
Yeah.
instead. That might help.
Okay. Yeah. Don't be afraid to mix between the two of them. Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm obsessed with these movies, but like there's a character in the Hunger Games called Effie Trinket, and the way Elizabeth Banks plays the character, it always
I know.
because she's doing like it's a certain character that it's always going up no matter what. It's like having affected.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody in where she comes from speaks that way, I suppose, as is portrayed in the movie, but it's a really interesting character decision because it's like the characters of the 40s. You know what I mean? Like this very theatrical, high theater, high drama.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, it's just worth the discussion because even like a plain sentence can travel upwards with inflection. So,
Right. True.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Okay. I actually thank you, Shadow. It went through, so I have Shadow's interpretation of this
Yay!
character. I don't think we have time for the whole thing, so let's just listen to the first takes on it, if that's okay. All right.
That is fine.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
You'd intentionally bring down winter on the uncursed. You'd intentionally bring down winter on the uncursed. You'd intentionally bring down winter on the uncursed. Those in power embellish their deeds, or their admirers do it for them. Those in power embellish their deeds, while their admirers do it for them. Those in power embellish their deeds, while their admirers do it for them.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there for just a moment. So we caught you by surprise, Shadow, when it comes to all this, and I apologize. I thought we were.
I know.
Yeah. So I know you're not in your environment, so I'm not going to say anything about the buzzing or anything else that's going on in the background. I
Wasn't crap.
I saw you creating the character as we were kind of going through it, so I was interesting to see that process of you. So, I got a voice. This voice is going to work for it. I hear it. I hear that particular voice. But I'm going to go back to the same thing. Is we have to be careful when we're using voices not to limit our feelings too much. Your second take of the first line, I could hear more emotion than all of the other ones. That'll be my feedback.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I think with the first one, we could definitely hear you try to structure that differently. So it sounded more robotic in that sense because you were no, this is constructive.
This is constructive. Yeah,
this is good stuff. It was good.
It'll help you grow. Yes.
Considering we threw you into this,
yes,
it was good.
You literally threw me into the box.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what you did.
100%.
But with the second one, it was more natural. We felt the flow of it better, and yes, someone take over.
You picked it up. Yeah, you picked it up on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of the same problem I had where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Now I got to go take a shower. And then, okay, maybe I can do this. And so it's that issue, obviously. And we know that you know what you're listening for and what people will be listening for. So you can't even, we shouldn't even comment on that. But yeah, I love the affects you were putting on your voice and that there was kind of like a smugness about it. Mm-hmm. So it was just a different take altogether.
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. And this is one of those flex characters where it could be either male or female. So it's interesting to hear.
Right.
But again, that's what I was going for.
You smug bastard.
So I went for a different type of smugness of kind of just sort of half done with the world, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't actually read the details.
But
I just went for it.
You just went for it.
This looks interesting, so I just went for that voice.
Cool. And that's how it happens. Because sometimes you're handed a line and said, read this, and you've got to do it all in the moment. So it's good to all get put into that position.
But again, like in the chat, they threw me into that.
Yes, 100%. We threw you into that.
Yeah.
I blame them.
All right.
Ren, I may have to disappear. Yeah, I'm going to have to disappear now.
No worries. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. We're going to do mine real quick, and then we'll do Eldurrino's, if that's okay.
That's fine.
You do what you got to do, Ren. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I will disappear now, and glad to be here. This probably will become a regular thing of I will have to pop up a little bit earlier than most people, than the rest of them. But all right, I will see you guys next week, okay?
All right.
See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna fix the cameras real quick while we're waiting.
Oh my lord, I could get the pop-up. Finally.
just put a copy of your camera where Renara's was.
No, we're okay. We're okay now. All right, so I will be honest. I've never been good at doing an old man voice, so I will say that.
But you are an old man.
Yeah, but you're doing it right now. So what's the problem?
Yeah, Zamoody, what's the problem here?
That's been the podcast for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. All right. Here we go. 3.
He's angry.
3, 2, 1.
Perhaps a lively tomb is not so rare when one is a hunter of spirits. The Aldergard is an old and strange place. The Omen Seekers are legendary explorers, but even they seldom travel this far into the forest. Too far from the sea, from their ships. Ingarunais has sight beyond most mortals. She has knowledge of every location to which her clan members have gone. Even she knows little of this place, though. Never have I seen such filth dare to desecrate these realms. Even the demons of Imistrum are not so foul. I must consult with my kin. There are too many riddles which need answering. But if you are set on pursuing that creature, the longship of Cosima will aid you in this quest. I will see to it.
Ollie did one take. That's it for me.
Okay, so your voice was almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, we have to agree
No,
with her
I'm
on
serious.
that.
I'm being serious. I'm not being savage this time. This time.
I like that.
This time
This
around,
time.
however.
Now I was also wait. Was it actually Zamoody?
Yes, it was.
I like that voice. This was a tough one for me personally because I've never done a senior voice before. And based on the character description, he's actually a god, but playing the part of a like a I don't know, kind of a kooky old man. It's a doddering grandfather.
I had to
so-
actually look up the word doddering because I wasn't familiar.
I did
with
too.
it. Yeah,
I did too.
Is that a biological term?
It means frail or shaking.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
kind of like, hobbling along to get
Please.
across the road, before the light turns back to green. But
no.
the important thing that I took from this, at least from the description, was that they said, as Alrund, please maintain the same voice, but with an air strength, confidence, and authority. That was difficult for me personally. I enjoyed that you you kept the same pitch going into the Alrund, just added a little bit more bass to it and more authority to that. That I didn't really do a whole lot with mine. So I think that fit really well. I don't know. The only other critique I have is just like pronunciation on the weird words.
Right. Well, and that generally
Immer.
comes with time.
Yeah, right. Like Immer Sturm was the only one that I noticed. But
Yeah.
Oh, I like that you rolled your R on Rune Eyes.
Yes.
Everyone else can roll their R's but me.
Yeah. All right. You good, Pash? No other roasting for me?
No,
No
you're
other
safe,
savage
man.
things to throw at him.
Your savaging is complete.
Oh yay! I've been savaged. All right, we'll do
Who has been
Eldurrinos.
savaged? It's been complete.
And 3, 2, 1.
Perhaps a lively tomb is not so rare when one is a hunter of spirits. The Alder God is an old and strange place. The Omen Seekers are legendary explorers, but even they seldom travel this far into the forest, too far from the sea, from their ships. Inga Rune-Eyes has sight beyond most mortals. She has knowledge of every location to which her clan members have gone. Even she knows little of this place, though. Never have I seen such filth dare to desecrate these realms. Even the demons of Immersturm are not so foul. I must consult with my kin. There are too many riddles which need answering. But if you are set on pursuing that creature, the longship of Cosima will aid you in this quest. I will see to it. Perhaps a lively tomb is not so rare when one is a hunter of spirits. The Alder God is an old and strange place. The Omen Seekers are legendary explorers, but even they seldom travel this far into the forest. Too far from the sea, from their ships. Inga Rune-Eyes has sight beyond most mortals. She has knowledge of every location to which her clan members have gone. Even she knows little of this place, though. Never have I seen such filth dare to desecrate these realms. Even the demons of Immersturm are not so foul. I must consult with my kin. There are too many riddles which need answering. But if you are set on pursuing that creature, the long ship of Cosima will aid you in this quest. I will see to it.
Okay. So I think the second one, you're definitely trying to do more of a gravelly, graspy voice. So I heard a little bit more limitations on your emotional. I liked your first take for sure better. So I think you put your best one ahead of time.
Sure.
First one was better.
Yep, and I even had my girlfriend listen to it because I wasn't sure which one. Like I figured the more like the clearer tone one would have been a bit more presentable than the other one, but at the same time, like when I was thinking about a voice for the character, especially for Alrund, I imagined more of a almost like a Kratos type voice where it's the deep authoritative growl, you know. So
the darkness will consume.
Boy.
So that's why I decided to do a separate take that had more of like a gravel behind it and stuff.
Gotcha. I think acting wise for you hit a lot of good tones. I really like the way it was. For me, when I came up with the character, the first thing I thought of was Jafar from Aladdin when he does the old man.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And you know, he sounds all gravelly and crazy, and then all of a sudden he becomes Jafar, and that's kind of where mine came from, and that's why I did it in a particular way. I like that you maintain the pretty much the same character, and yeah, you just added that authority afterwards. So I think you hit the mark a little bit better on that particular not requirement.
Wow, way to self-savage. Way to self-savage. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just being honest, Pashley.
Sure, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I think so. Now we're done with auditions. Any questions on that? Anything in particular that we're looking at for the future, audition wise? Pashley, you actually put one out there.
Super it's a shocker, right?
You actually, yeah, bravo.
Shock.
Because we said it last time. Just put it out there.
Hang
just
on.
do it. Yeah.
Hang on, right? I have one for
you
this.
Have something for this? You have something for this? Works out so well.
I'll take a picture of me just wide-eyed.
Yeah, that's but I think for the most part, it's all. Let me tell you, the intro, loved it. I don't. You worried so much about it that you were messaging me about it at 10 o'clock last night.
No, I did. So here's the thing. Like, here's how my brain works. Once it like turns on, the floodgates open. Like, and so this is what my son suffers with. It's like not being able to control it really. There's a whole discussion to be had here, and like why scheduling when I do my auditions so my brain knows to turn on and do that is going to be super important to me. But yeah, I'm always afraid, like, okay, if I sit down, it's going to be like 2 hours and I'm going to come up with this and I'm going to come up with that. And then like, oh, but I need to have this done. You know what I mean? So it's just lack of control of my brain.
Did you?
Maybe I need medication.
Honestly, that's a good thing. Like I appreciate when people can do that, you know, where they turn on a switch and then the creativity just pours out and there's no stopping it really. And that's kind of how my brain works too. Like once I start hitting my jive, like I just keep going and going, you know. Like
exactly.
Even with my intro, like I feel like there was a ton more I could have added to it, but I didn't want to make it like excessive to the point where people are like, okay, you know, get on with it. So that's why I just capped mine the way it was.
Awesome.
Get on with it already.
Exactly.
Do we have any questions for ShadowWolf before we conclude this? Or ShadowWolf, do you have questions for us? You as a creator, do you have any questions that you would want to ask your actors that you've never had a chance to? And no is an okay response.
Well, my question is, why are you not taking the opportunity to actually ask me to help you?
Hey, I didn't know of your existence until an hour and a half ago. So
I don't even know who you are.
Well, and the reality
how dare
is,
you not know who I am?
Like I mentioned before, a lot of when it comes to actors, we're really shy. We don't want to cause waves. We don't want to show inexperience. So I think that's a limiting factor when it comes to trying out for a lot of these things. So it's a concern.
I'm just saying for afterwards, once they get the role. Because I literally put in the server that if you guys need help with the lines, ask me.
Right.
Well, now we know. Well, at least now. Well, they should have been paying attention from the get-go, in all honesty. But
well, apparently the only one paying attention was Talon and you.
Well,
I feel like more. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like more directors definitely should put that out there, saying, "Hey, if you need help with lines, figuring out how to deliver them, what direction to take them, let me know, and I will help you." Because I feel like a lot of directors or creators out there don't give that, and so therefore the performers are going to feel a bit. They'll feel like they're going to be bothering the person that they're sending the lines to, if they, if the door's not open, essentially.
Now, see, I have too much free time on my ass, so.
Sure.
I have nothing better to do.
Just be clear, it's on his ass.
Yes, I heard that too.
Not on the hands.
It's not on the hands. It's not on the feet. It's on that ass.
Well, I think. No, go ahead.
Sorry. There was one quick thing that we should cover real quick before we end this. First voice that everyone has ever done in their entire life. I will start. The first voice that I ever did was the dumb Ed from the show Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I dressed up as him for Halloween in 6th grade. Nobody knew who I was in my class. I was ashamed, but I think I pulled it off.
Are you going to do it too, or no?
No, I can't do it anymore. It just sounds awful. I don't even really remember.
Wow, I was like waiting with bated breath.
I remember that he laughed was waiting too, Patrick, and he said buttered toast a lot. Sorry.
You dick.
Sorry. I'm just telling you the first one I ever did. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's perfectly fine. Mine would probably end up being like Cookie Monster or Elmo, because I was a big Sesame Street guy. It's okay. B-Liddy can come in and say hi.
No, I'm saying shut the door. I invited him in here for this question. Are you kidding me?
So did he hear us or no?
I hear you. Go.
Okay. So
no, they want to know what was your first voice that you ever did.
Oh Lord!
Since we kind of got a grand tour of your Irv.
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be the very first one. It could be something that you can remember that you did early on in your life, whether it's impersonation, impression, whatever.
Probably Stitch.
Okay. Are you gonna do it for us or no?
Are you gonna do it? Hey, well, hold up. Do it again.
This is my family.
There you go.
Jar Jar.
Oh, Jar Jar also.
Lisa Jar Jar Binks.
Oh God.
No.
And this has been derailed.
Jar Jar, get out of here.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like doing that voice either because I hate Jar Jar.
Yeah, it's okay.
Pash, how about you?
Okay, Jar Jar be good, Jar Jar.
I'll let you. We'll play a game. It'll be guess which voice this is. Ready?
Okay.
Oh no.
What?
Oh baby, how was I supposed to know?
Are they supposed to guess?
Oh, it's Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, it's the other blonde one.
Christina Aguilera. What?
The other blonde one.
Clearly Julie Andrews.
Clearly.
How about you, Shadow? Did you ever start with a particular voice?
Well, I didn't really have a voice when I started, because I started 2010, 2011.
Okay.
The very first one that I did was I was supposed to be a narrator. I was supposed to be the narrator.
Gotcha.
It was for a original Yu-Gi-Oh series. I was supposed to be the narrator for before the show started and after the show ended. So basically, it was me doing next time on Yu-Gi-Oh.
Gotcha.
Oh wow, that would be awesome.
Last time on Yu-Gi-Oh.
On this episode of the podcast, Dorito breath.
On last time on the VA podcast.
I love Doritos.
Yes, we know. We hear it every time you get in Discord.
We talked about Doritos and other things.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, on behalf of
Good.
Renara, of Ren, of Eldurrino, Princess Pashley, and myself. Thank you so much for being here, Shadow Wolf. I absolutely appreciate it. For those of you out there, as Pashley loves to say, don't let your dreams become memes. Right, Pash?
Yeah.
Oh dear lord.
Oh yeah.
I
Baba
think
Thar.
Ash.
Thank you, everybody.
Shut up!
We will now cut tape. Thank you, everybody. We will catch you next time. Have a good night. Bye.
Make sure to keep howling and let the shadows be your power.
Love it.